Yes, hello.
Can you hear me?
Not very clear. Not very clear, sir. Can you check it again? Connection again. No, there are some issues there from your side.
Hey, wait a moment. Wait a moment. Is it okay now?
Not very okay. I can see you. I can hear you, but not very clear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because you see the video is moving. So can you remove virtual background or something else?
Okay.
Actually, I already sent you one backdrop, so you can add the backdrop of the event.
At my God.
Even in the email, we have backdrop also.
Hello. Testing. Thưởng được không? Nghe được không?
Yeah, yes. Please
Okay.
call me again. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, totally fine. Thank you.
Mr. Bui, is it okay now?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I hear your voice already.
Yeah, Excellency. Yeah, Mr. Matthew.
Mr. Xavier Matthew, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hear your voice very
Excellency,
clearly.
Ambassador already joined, so we can start now.
Okay, thank you.
We're waiting for the ambassador video.
Okay. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are formally commencing the program. This webinar is being organized by Vietnam Embassy in India, along with the FICCI, with the support of Government of Kerala and Director General of Foreign Trade, to promote and explore the business and investment opportunities between Kerala, India, and Vietnam. As you're aware, a lot of products, a lot of manufacturing, and a lot of trading is happening already between Kerala and Vietnam. We have the more or less same tropicals, and a lot of things are happening, especially on the food and agro sectors, and also on the other sectors like IT skilling and all the other areas also. So this program is being primarily organized to expand the existing relations between the Kerala and Vietnam, and also explore the possibilities of future areas of collaborations. With this opening note, we are really glad to have His Excellency Tan He, Ambassador of Vietnam to India, as the chief guest for today's program. We also have Mr. Quang Phang, Deputy Director General of Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam, from the senior official from the embassy side are also present here. And we are also great to have the presence of Dr. Sebastian Thomas, Assistant GM, Investment and Promotion, Government of Kerala Industry Department, Sri Suman Billa IAS, Principal Secretary Industry will be also joining shortly. Dr. M.I. Shahidullah, Chair FICCI Kerala State Council is also here. Mr. K.M. Herlal, John, Director for Trade is also here. And from the business session, we have a galaxy of speakers for the business section. Mr. Sumi Unikrishnan, AGM, APADE. Mr. Alex K. Nayanan, Chairman, FICCI Kerala Task Force and the President Seafood Export Association of India. Mr. Cherian Xavier, Chairman, All India Spice Exporters Forum. Mr. Gina Wahid, the Managing Director of Face India Technology Solutions Private Limited. Ms. Hong Ting Ling, Chairwoman with Vietnam Pepper Association. Mr. Nguyen Ting Jiang, Vice President cum Secretary General Vinsa. Mr. Bui Trong Ton, Vice President Invest Global Representative from WhatsApp, and all the senior officials from the Vietnam side. As you are aware, this platform is limited to only the speakers and the official from the side, and we have a other platform, FICCI Bike platform, where a large number of representatives from the industry and trade have already joined. I extend a warm welcome, and I request Dr. M.I. Shahidullah, Chair FICCI Kerala State Council, to formally deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you. I am Dr. Shahidullah. I think it is a pleasure to be here, and in fact, to address our, dignitaries from Vietnam and from all the other, industry and trade. Let me begin. Honorable Ambassador of Vietnam to India, Mr. Ngo Tan Hai, Principal Secretary Suman Billa, and Mr. Sebastian Thomas, Savio, our head of FICCI of Kerala, Kerala State Executive Group, all the other distinguished invitees, trade representatives, members of the media. I am really delighted to welcome each one of you. But before I do that, let me just go through a little bit of a detail on what are we aiming at today. It may be prudent to recall some of the events which might have happened in the past and how we built up relationship with Vietnam. I think since many decades, we have a very good trade relation and cultural relationship with Vietnam. In 1975, India granted the most forward nation status to Vietnam. And in 78, bilateral trade agreements happened. Then there was in 1997, I think, a bilateral investment promotion and protection agreement called the BIPA, B-I-P-P-A, BIPA. In 2003, both nations brought out joint declaration on comprehensive cooperation and negotiated a free trade agreement. I think in 2007, a fresh joint declaration was issued during the state visit of the Prime Minister of Vietnam to India. And since then, bilateral trade has increased on a faster pace. But the visit of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, in 2016 was a landmark event to Vietnam, and opportunities were opened for free trade between India and Vietnam. FICCI has been working very closely to promote economic cooperation between two countries, and Asian India Business Council, AIBC, an industry body, was constituted with the support of the Department of Commerce and Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. In 2020, FICCI business delegation visited Vietnam, Cambodia, and FICCI sent a business delegation for the 19th Vietnam International Textile and Garment Industry. In 2021, Honorable Ambassador of Vietnam and a delegation of officials visited Kerala. and had discussion with our Chief Minister and other senior officials on various areas of cooperation. 2021, Vietnam exports to India, it was estimated about 6.25 billion, and India exports to Vietnam was estimated almost same, but a little higher, 6.64 billion. And so there's quite a good trade is going on. I had an opportunity to visit Vietnam a few years ago, and for a medical conference, and I spent a few days there. And I feel that Kerala and Vietnam have many things in common. Looking at paddy cultivation, pepper, spices, rubber, I think cashew, seafood. And I think Vietnam is actually coming as a very good competitor for medical tourism. And also, we can also explore, our relationship in cultural activities. By 2030, I think it is estimated that Vietnam will strive to be among one of the top 40 countries in the world, and in the by the Global Innovation Index rankings. Looking forward, we should explore more opportunities also in the field of IT, healthcare, and education. I think with that few words of exploring, the business opportunities between the two, Kerala and Vietnam, I would like to go ahead and welcome our chief guest, the Honorable Ambassador of Vietnam to India, Mr. Nguyen Tan He, and I really welcome, it's a pleasure to welcome to this gathering. Let me also welcome Mr. Suman Billa, our Principal Secretary, Industries and Norca, Government of Kerala. Deputy Director General, Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam, Mr. Do Ko Hang, also is here. I'm not sure, Thomas Sebastian is there, Mr. Harilal is also there, Joint Director of Director General of Foreign Trade, Government of India. Mr. Hari Kishore, Director of Industries and Commerce, Government of Kerala, Trivandrum. Ms. Simi Unikrishnan, Agricultural and Food Products Export Development Authority, is called EPIDA. Mr. Alex Nainan, Chairman, FICCI Kerala Task Force Export Committee, President Seafood Exporters Association of the Kerala region. Mr. Cherian Xavier, Chairman, All India Spices Export Forum. Ms. Gina Wahid, Managing Director, FACES India Technology Solutions Private Limited. Mr. Hong Thi Lin, Chairwoman, Vietnam Pepper Association. Ms. Nguyen Thi Tu Gia, Vice President cum Secretary General Binasa. Mr. Bu Thong Thon, Vice President Invest Global, representative from WASAP, and our Savio from FICCI, all other distinguished guests and representatives from trade and industry, and representatives from various trade and industry in Vietnam as well as in Kerala. And I'm really very happy to welcome you all for a very, very important meeting today. And I look forward that we can really bring out some good outcomes from this meeting, and in a collaborative way. Thank you very much, and over to you, Savio.
Thank you, Dr. M.S. Abdullah, Chairman, FICCI Kerala State Council, for formally welcome the His Excellency Ambassador, senior officials from the Vietnam Embassy and the officials from the government of Kerala side, and also other speakers, our distinguished speakers and invitees to the program. And sir also recalled the main activities, the areas which we can collaborate. I would like to add on, sir, the FICCI Kerala State Council also sent a delegation to Vietnam in 2017. And we had also exchanged communication with the counterparts there also. So I was also part of the delegation to Ho Chi Minh City. We had a good number of delegates from Kerala side. So now we want to our most important speech, the speech by His Excellency, Mr. Nguyen Thanh Hai, Ambassador of Vietnam to India. As you are aware to the participants, he has got a post-degree in Master's Public Policy, and he has postgraduate and studied in Singapore, and also held various important portfolios in the various posts in the under the Vietnam Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And currently, Mr. Thanh Hai is the ambassador to Vietnam in India, and he has also visited Kerala 2020. Over to you, sir, for the chief guest address.
So good afternoon to you all. Mr. Suman Bila, the Principal Secretary, the Government of Kerala. Mr. S. Hari Kishore, the Director, Industries and Commerce, Government of Kerala. Mr. Do Kok Hong, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Industry and Trade of Vietnam. Dr. M.I. Sahadullah, Chair FICCI Kerala State Council. Mr. K.M. Harilan, Joint Director General of the Foreign Trade Kochi. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am very delighted to be part of this webinar. This is a good initiative, and I thank the government of Kerala, the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the FICCI for making this webinar a reality. As you might have known, Vietnam is one of the economies with the highest GDP growth in the world in the past few years. In 2022, despite the world's economy slowed down due to the COVID-19, natural disasters and conflicts in some regions and inflation, Vietnam still is a resilient economy with a GDP growth of 8%, one of the highest in the world. And export-import turnover reached $732 billion. Vietnam has advantages in attracting foreign investment with its favorable geographical position, increasingly complete and synchronized infrastructure, improved administrative procedure, and competitive tax system. And right now, one of the reasons why there are many companies go to Vietnam is that Vietnam had a system of 60 FTAs, free trade agreement, with more than 60 countries and territories around the world, including the new generation FTA, such as CPTPP, EV FTA between Vietnam and Europe, EU, the RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership between ASEAN and 6 other economies. So the white paper of the European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam, recently published, indicate that Vietnam is an attractive destination for FTA thanks to a stable macroeconomic environment and well-controlled inflation. You all know that trade is one of 5 pillars in the comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and India. Bilateral trade between 2 countries exceeded $15 billion for the first time in 2022, reaching the target set by the leaders of the 2 countries and bringing India to be one of the 8th largest trading partners of Vietnam. However, the trade turnover was still far below our potential. It takes about only 2% of our total trade turnover, and it still has a lot of potential and room for development. We also know that Kerala State and the province of Vietnam have had close connection, especially after the visit of the embassy's delegation to Kerala in 2021. Since then, there were a series of delegations of Vietnam visiting Kerala and vice versa. You have mentioned some of the delegation visit Vietnam. We also co-organize numerous webinars of business opportunities between Kerala and Vietnam. In 2022, Vietnam embassies, in collaboration with Kerala Startup Mission, the Center for Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship, to organize Vietnam-India Startup Forum to exchange startup ecosystem of the two sides, with 50 connection points of businesses of the two countries. So the both sides have numerous similarities, but also a lot of things to complement each other, especially in sector of agriculture, fishery, and information technology. Therefore, through this webinar, especially through the presentation of distinguished speakers, I do hope that Vietnamese businesses will understand more about the potential and the demand of Kerala for the above sectors, and Indian participants could also see the opportunities in Vietnam market. So in conclusion, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the Kerala government, Ministry of Industry and Trade of Vietnam, FICCI, Kerala State Council, and the Trade Office of the Embassy of Vietnam for organizing such a wonderful webinar. And the Embassy of Vietnam here in New Delhi, we totally fully support the relationship between Vietnam and the Kerala in any capacity that we can. With that, I wish you all good health and a fruitful webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency, Mr. Nguyen Quynh Tran, High Ambassador of Vietnam to India, for delivering the chief guest address and also highlighting the areas which can be collaborated between India and Kerala, especially Sarios highlighted regarding the startup agreement that has been signed with the Startup Mission and Vietnam. Of course, in our discussion, that will be also taken up. And also the areas of collaboration which can be also further explored, especially in the areas of agriculture, fisheries, and IT. All this will be elaborately discussed during the business sessions. Now I would move to the next speaker. We have with us Deputy Director General of Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam, Mr. Doc Quang Quang. He has a master's degree in economics and public management from the National Economics University of Vietnam, and also postgraduate in public administration reform at Vietnam National Public Administration Academy. And also currently is a Deputy General of Asia Africa Market Department, Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam, and also held various important portfolios under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Vietnam. Over to Deputy Director General, Mr. Doc Quang Quang, for the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shahadullah. Dr. Shahadullah Shafiki Saikal.
I think there is a connection issue, Savio.
I think, sir, if you can just switch off your screen and start with the mic, the audio, then that will have more bandwidth, it seems, sir.
Did we get disconnected?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, sir. So we move to next speaker, and we will come back to him next time.
Okay. So we will move to the next speaker. Dr. Sri Suman Billa, IAS Principal Secretary, Industry and Norca, will be a little late. We have just informed that currently there's a G20 meeting, preparatory meeting is going on, but sir would be joining later on in the program. So I now request Dr. Sebastian Thomas, as General Manager, Investment Promotion Planning, Kerala State Industry Development Corporation, to address the gathering. Over to Dr. Sebastian.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Savio. At the very outset, thank you, FICCI, for inviting us also for this program, and respected dignitaries, speakers and all the participants.
Dr. Sebastian, can you speak a little more louder? You're perfectly audible. If just a little more louder, yeah.
A warm good afternoon to all of you.
Very, very well clear now. Okay, continue.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a small presentation, but I think, as there is a bandwidth issue, I am not going to run the slides. I'll quickly go through, I'll speak for a few minutes. Basically, I represent KSIDC. KSIDC is the premier promotional agency for the promotion of industries in the state of Kerala. We are working under the Ministry of Industries here. We facilitate investments in India, in Kerala, and we act as a platform between investor and the government and other countries. So this is a basic role of KSIDC. Now, regarding the Kerala industry, I will give a brief profile of the Kerala industry as well. Kerala industry, if you look at Kerala, we have around 2.5 lakh MSME units in the state. We have also around 8,000 medium and large scale industries in the state. And state is ranked number one in the, consistently, Kerala is ranked number one in the startup ecosystem in the country. And Niti Aayog has ranked Kerala as one of the top ranked state in India for the sustainable development indices. So this is the background of my state, Kerala. And if you look at the industry profile of the industry, we have around 22 key sectors, of which some of them are quite interesting to Vietnam as well. For example, we have the rubber, we have the spices, some of them Ficky, Mr. Savio was mentioning, some of them Dr. Sarla was mentioning. We have, if you look at the areas where we can collaborate between Vietnam and Kerala, I would say there is, precision engineering products are there. This is an area where we can collaborate. There is rubber-based industries. We have an exclusive rubber park coming up in Ernakulam as well. And one of the key areas where I think there is tremendous potential for Kerala and Vietnam to cooperate and collaborate is the medical devices sector. Especially in the post-pandemic period, there is a lot of requirement for such products. And if you look at the way Kerala is growing in the medical devices sector, almost some 20 top-notch countries in the globe, like Penpol, Agape, Dencare, they're all here. So, and 20% of the India's medical devices products are produced in India. For example, the Derma Penpol, it is a collaboration between Japan and India, Kerala. So this Penpol, which is a manufacturer of blood bags, that controls almost 20% of the global production of the blood bags. And Agape, again, they are also one of the top-notch leading brands in India. There are a number of companies like that in the medical devices. I think this is an area where we can really look at and collaborate. There are, I think, over 700 startups in the medical devices and life sciences sector. That is an area where I think Vietnam can really explore further collaborations and possibilities in this particular sector I am talking about. Then, as I said, is the rubber. Rubber, there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of investments happening in the state, and there is potential for exports between these two countries. We also need a lot of products from, we are also currently importing rubber-based products as well as we are exporting. So we need to identify which are the areas where we can cooperate in this sector. And then the another sector which, of course, we can work together is IT exports, IT products and services. This is yet another area that we can work. Then ornaments, gem and jewelry, that is a key sector that we are doing exports. And I think if you look at the statistics of the export between Vietnam and Kerala, I have some statistics with me, their the footwear, medical apparatus. If you look at the exports, then articles of stone, then leather articles, edible fruits. These are some auto parts. These are some of the areas where we can still, collaborate and work together with. Then the skill development is yet another area that Kerala can really support Vietnam in case if there is a potential for that. So my KSIDC and Government of Kerala, we can of course work together with the FICCI, and we will be the touch point. We can have work further in this regard. We can mount delegation. We can exchange. We can have B2B meetings between Vietnamese companies and Kerala-based companies. These are some of the things. Maybe we can have a startup webinar like this exclusively for Vietnam-based startups. We are open. We can facilitate all these things. And we have today we have around 4,000 startups in the state across the sectors. So please let us know which are the areas that you are keen, which are the areas that we need to work together based on your interest and our interest. We can work out together something suitable for you. This is what I can really offer to this August audience. Thank you very much once again for inviting us to this session.
Thank you, Dr. Sebastian Thomas, AGM Investment and Promotion Planning, KSIDC, Government of Kerala, and also highlighting the areas which can be taken up for further collaboration, especially on the medical sectors and the other rubber and other especially on the startup ecosystem where the joint initiatives can be explored. Of course, that will be discussed in the detail during the business session. Mr. Bui, can we have the Deputy Director General coming on?
Yeah, he's there, sir.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, Mr. Hung, the Deputy Director from Ministry of Industry and Trust. We have floor. So over to you, Mr. Hung.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fine now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so there's some echo. Maybe you accept by two devices. You can knock down one device.
Is it okay now?
Yes, fine, totally fine. Yeah,
Thank
please.
you. Mr. Suman Bila, Principal Secretary, Government of Kerala. Mr. Hari Kishore, Director, Industry and Commerce, Government of Kerala. Dr. Sahadullah, Chair FICCI, Kerala State Council. Mr. Harilan, Joint Director General of Foreign Trade. Mr. Sabio Matthew, Head Kerala State Council, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Bùi Trung Thướng, Trade Councillor, Embassy of Vietnam in India. Leaders and representatives of Vietnam People Association, Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, Vietnam Software Association. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to join and speak at this webinar today. I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation for the initiative of the Vietnam Trade Office in India, FICCI, Kerala State Council, and Kerala government to organize this webinar in order to provide market information, promote trade and investment cooperation between Vietnam and India today. Ladies and gentlemen, with strenuous effort during the past years, Vietnamese businesses and investors have been continuously growing. A number of Vietnamese enterprises have already been reaching out to the world market, gradually strengthening their position in the international market, bringing made in Vietnam products to consumers across the globe. Vietnam considers India as one of her most important markets in the world, and specifically in South Asia. In 2022, the bilateral trade between Vietnam and India reached a record volume of $15 billion with a population of 1.4 billion. India offers a large and diverse market with different customer segments. However, I believe that the Indian market still has a lot of potential. In order to enhance the efficiency of import and export and investment business and to exploit more effectively the vast opportunities that are emerging in the Indian market. We should study more and take into consideration the possibility of setting up a presence in India, where maybe in the form of a company, a branch, or a representative office. As for Kerala, the southern state of India with 580 kilometers of coastline, favorable climate, we realize that Kerala has many strengths and potentials for businesses of both sides to cooperate in business and investment, especially in the fields of forestry, agriculture, fisheries, information technology, which are all the strengths of both Vietnam and Kerala. Given the trend of expanding trade and investment cooperation between two countries in general and between Vietnam and Kerala state in particular, as well as the actual need of Vietnamese businesses, I am the view that today's webinar is of utmost importance in the sense that it will help us to be clear about the regulations and procedures to set up a presence in the Indian market, especially in Kerala state and as well as in Vietnam. I hope that today's webinar will be a forum for the experts and businesses from two countries to share information and discuss trade and investment cooperation opportunities, as well as ways to remove obstacles in trade interactions. I hope all delegates, businesses, and expertise from the two countries will actively participate in discussion, exchange experiences, and share stories of success, so as to uphold the development of the business communities of the two countries. The Ministry of Industry and Trade of Vietnam and the Vietnam Trade Office in India are always willing to support businesses from both Vietnam and India, and particularly from Kerala state, in seeking collaboration opportunities, responding to the concerns, proposing solutions for enterprises to overcome difficulties arising out of business operation in both Vietnamese and Indian market. Once again, I would like to thank you all. May I wish you good health, happiness. I would like to wish the event today a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Doc Quang Quang, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam, for the areas which can be mutually collaborated for expansion on the business purpose and trade investments between Vietnam and Kerala. Thank you, sir. Now we are moving to the next speaker. We have with us Mr. K.M. Harlal, Joint Director General of Foreign Trade, DGFT Kochi. Mr. Harlal is with the DGFT for the past 10 years and also served in various capacities in DGFT and other offices also. He's a BTech from Calicut University and PG Diploma in Public Policy Management, IIM Bangalore. Over to Mr. K.M. Harlal, JDFT. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Savio. His Excellency, Mr. Nguyen Thanh Hai, Ambassador of Vietnam to India, senior official from the Vietnam government, senior official from Kerala government, representative from industry, representative from officers from CEO, FICCI. A warm good evening, good afternoon to all. Gentlemen, as per the latest statistics, latest data provided by the DGCA, that is the official record keeper of export-import from India and to India, the export from Kerala to Vietnam is approximately around 60 million in the year 21-22. This 60 million composed of mostly of marine product, which is around 45 million. That means around 3/4 of our export to Vietnam is exclusively of marine product. And most likely, I believe that this marine fish product, marine products are further value added in factories in Vietnam, and they are further exported from other countries like US, European Union, etc. As far as import is concerned, we don't have exact data, but I'm sure that much of the import is happening in terms of pepper, cashew nuts, for value addition like olive resin, etc. So a huge amount of pepper is being imported from Vietnam into India, into Kerala. And I'm sure the representative of All India Spices Exporters Forum is well aware of this fact, because much of the raw material which is required for this industry is not available in our country, so they are compelled to import at competitive rate. So, having said that, I am of the view, I am I am of the firm opinion that there is much potential rather than what is seen as per the data. Because this 60 million is just a 1.5% of what Kerala export to the world. So total export from Kerala, I'm not talking about an Indian perspective, I'm talking in perspective from Kerala. So around 4,000 million, that is around $4 billion of export is happening from Kerala, out of which 1.5 million, 1.5% is only to Vietnam. So I don't know exactly what is the reason, but the Kerala, the exporters and entrepreneurs from Kerala has to focus this country because there's a lot of potential, as His Excellency Ambassador has already told us that the Vietnam is one of the very fastest growing economy in the Southeast Asia. And we have got a huge potential, huge opportunities for our products in that country. And similarly, all this export-import is a win-win situation for both the countries. The pepper we import, we value add and export to US. The cashew kernel we import from Vietnam is processed and value added and sent to Europe and US and EU countries. So import-export is not just a zero-sum game. It's a net gain for both the countries. That is, it's a win-win game for both the countries. So, and the representative from the industry, the Kerala government, Mr. He has already told, Mr. Sebastian Thomas has already told, it's not just about trade. It's more about the business-to-business interaction that we can have in terms of skill development, in terms of IT, in terms of this thing. And as he rightly said, this medical device industry is one of the very brightening area in our state, and I'm sure that Vietnam will be, and Vietnam is interested to collaborate with us in this segment as well. So I'm sure this webinar is a small part, a small beginning. It's not an end, it's just a beginning. And of course, the representative from the industry, government, and chambers like FICCI will collaborate together to have a physical B2B meeting, which can be facilitated either in Kerala or can be happening in Vietnam as well. And a large number of face-to-face meetings will help us, both the businessmen and the entrepreneurs and the decision makers, both the sides, to have a trust with each other and can take this forward. So having said that, I am concluding my words, and I thank FICCI for giving me an opportunity. And thank you, all the best. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sri K.M. Harilal, Joint Director Foreign Trade, for addressing the participant, also highlighting the areas which can be taken for further collaboration, and also Harilal also stretching that the current trade is only very just minimum between Vietnam, Kerala, and has got large potential for exports and improvement of bilateral trade between Kerala and Vietnam. Of course, that will be also highlighted during our business session by the eminent speakers on the business angle. So we will now move to the business session. I would also, there's a request to all the participants who are already joined in the FICCI by platform to post your queries in the chat box also, so that can be taken up towards the end of the discussions so that concerned official can also address the same. Now we are moving to the business session. First speaker from the Kerala side, I would request Miss Sumi Unnikrishnan, AGM, Agriculture Processed Food Products and Export Development Authority, APADA. APADA is the main authority of Government of India for promoting food and agro business. Over to Miss Sumi Unnikrishnan. Sumi also takes care of the charge of Kerala, though she sits at the Delhi. Over to Sumi for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Savio Matthew. Thank you, FICCI, for giving me this opportunity to increase exports to Vietnam. Good afternoon, senior officers from Vietnam and senior officers of Government of India. First, I would like to present a few slides on export between India and Vietnam. Proceed with. Hope you can see the slide.
Yes, we can see the slide. Please continue.
Okay. This is the. Hope you can see the second slide.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the India and Vietnam. India's export to Vietnam. In India's total overall agri exports to Vietnam, we actually Vietnam is one of our major export destination, and we can see that Vietnam ranks almost in last decade in between fourth and fifth, first to fifth, and all 3 years the Vietnam rank has been first, because the exports of marine products and buffalo meat has been the largest during this period. These are the star products that is being exported from India to Vietnam, that is marine products, buffalo meat, oil meals, other cereals, non-basmati rice, groundnut, cotton, spices, wheat, and fresh vegetables. And as far as EPIDA scheduled products are concerned, these are the major products in which we have a potential in Vietnamese market, that is buffalo meat, groundnuts, fresh onions, cashew shell liquid, albumin, cucumbers, and gherkins. These are the major products that we have a share in Vietnam market. Now, the major products that are being exported from the state of Kerala to Vietnam are miscellaneous preparations, jaggery and confectionery, poultry products, processed fruits, juices and nuts, and processed vegetables. These are the major products. Now the thing is, from Kerala agriculture products, that is EPIDA products, exports are very less as compared to the total overall agri exports from India. Then EPIDA is actually participating in Viet Food and Beverage exhibition from 10th to 12th August 2023. We can explore our opportunities to increase agri exports from the region during this period. Thank you.
Thank you, Semi, for sharing the presentation and also highlighting the areas which can be taken up for collaboration. Also, you mentioned about this agri exhibition that's going to happen in 2023 in Vietnam. Of course, there will be a large number of participants from after this webinar. A lot of inquiries will be also coming up for the participation. We can definitely, for the other participants, APADA was the main participant, the main the area for the participant with the government of India for the Gulf Food, and FICCI was also partner to APADA in taking a delegation from Kerala also. Thank you, Simi. Any areas which you have like to collaborate or which you find difficult in the sorting out for the, for the exports to Vietnam from Kerala side on agri sectors, which you like to take up with the embassy side also? Something, if you have something in mind, you can mention. Otherwise, you can later on also add on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Simi. We'll move to the next speaker, Mr. Alex K. Nayanan, Chairman, FICCI Kerala State Task Force on Export Committee, and also Alex is the President, Seafood Export Association of India Kerala region. As Mr. Hadler also mentioned that seafood is one of the main areas of exports from Kerala to Vietnam, and there are a lot of seafood industry pillars are situated in Kerala also. Over to Sri Alex K. Nayanan.
Thank you, Savio. His Excellency, other dignitaries from Vietnam, from our state government, and the other members from the trade, from members from FICCI and other dignitaries. Thank you for this opportunity, and I really appreciate in FICCI in taking this new talks between India, Kerala and the Vietnam people. So at the outset, I would like to say that I think Kerala and South Vietnam fall in the same latitude. So I think we share a lot of similarities, like in our weather, in our water bodies. So there's so much. There are many similarities between Kerala and especially in South Vietnam. So that is the reason I think you do have a lot of aquaculture, and so do we have in Kerala, but we are not as developed as you are in Vietnam. So here is an area which we can really collaborate, and because you are very well advanced in aquaculture, but we in Kerala, we have a lot of water bodies, so we need to develop them. And I think here is an area which we can really join hands and promote aquaculture in the state of Kerala using your technology. And I understand that Vietnam has gone one more step ahead. You've gone into high-tech farming. which calls for even better production. So, though Kerala was very slow in production of aquaculture, I think this is a time which even our state government also has given permission to start aquaculture in the state. I think we can definitely join hands. On the other side, Vietnam has developed very well in value addition of seafood products. And what has happened right now is during at the time of COVID and even later, till about a year back, we've been having issues with China because a lot of our seafood products used to go into China. But unfortunately, there were some issues which really stopped us from exporting into China. At that time, seafood exports into Vietnam had really gone up. So you are value adding those products and then you are re-exporting into Europe because you have a better treaty agreement, a zero duty with Europe. So you could also make advantage. I think this export can still continue. And I think that is also another area which we can really think of scaling up exports. Now, on the other side, Ecuador was another country from where you used to import a lot of seafood. Now, Ecuador, I think they have moved to more into the US market. And here is an area where the seafood sector can really support Vietnam because the factories in Vietnam are very big, very high. Your standards are very high. So I think we can definitely support you with the raw material. You can do value addition. And the other side of it is probably you can also even come back into India. You can set up factories. We can join hands. There are a lot of factories also here. And you can do the value addition at source. So that's also an area which I think you can really take up. I think that's all from my side from the seafood sector. If there are any questions, probably later I can take other questions also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex, for highlighting the areas. Before moving to the next speaker, I would like to invite BU, the Council General also, because Mr. Alex has mentioned 3 areas which can be taken up immediately. One is regarding the aquaculture collaboration, which is very much is need of the hour for the Kerala also. We have the expertise. And also the value addition, of course, that is already happening. The China factor, the commodities are going to Vietnam also. If you can just comment a few lines from your end, then we'll move to the next speaker. Mr. Bui, over to Bui, Trade Commissioner.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for host a very important webinar today at mentioned by His Excellency Ambassador and also Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Trade. Yeah, actually, I really enjoy all the speakers, especially from Mr. Ernest Milan, where the co-hosts invite me to address. So actually, I also would like to share some information about the Vietnam seafood industry. Actually, it's not in the program, so I'm really sorry for other speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Arnett already mentioned that yes, between India and Vietnam, especially in Kerala, there's a huge potential in collaboration in terms of fishery product. First, I would like to share with you 3 points. Number one, I would like to share with you the seafood industry of Vietnam. Actually, we invite the representative from VASEP, Vietnam Export Association, the Seafood Export Association. Unfortunately, they are only busy. So they already share with us some data. So I will share on their behalf. Number one, so far, Vietnam, we have around 850 industrial scale factory certified. So as Mr. Ahmed already set up, out of 850, we have around 700 factory. We already get the certificate of EU export code. It's going dramatically. Remember that in 1999, when Vietnam, we have only 19. Enterprise was granted to export US coast, but so far we have 700. So it's around 40 times higher when we have the first certificate. And Vietnam now one is the third luggage is seafood exporter in the world. Last year, the export value reached 11 billion. This is for the first time in India. And we will talk about compare between India and Vietnam later. And Vietnam already export to 170 markets, including all the large and important markets such as the EU, the US, Japan, Australia, UK, Korea, South Korea, and China. Seafood is one of top 10 major export industry in Vietnam, creating more than 5 million direct and indirect workers. And it contributes to around 10 to 12% of total domestic manufacturing industry. So it's a sum of the number. So in last year, as I already mentioned, that the total export value reached a new high, 11 billion US dollar compared to around 8 billion US dollar India. So there are two main products. Number one is shrimp product, and number two is Bengal sweat. There are two big products. So talking about the corporation, yes, 2 days back I also joined one webinar organized by India Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City coordinate with MPEDA. So I already also share some of the view that the two countries can cooperate. Number one, both Vietnam and India, we also have leading country in fishery product and exporting. We also have long coastline. Vietnam, we have 3,260 kilometers long from the north to the south. And India, as far as information I have, India have 7,516 kilometer border of the mainland and Iceland, with the base of Bengal in the east and Indian Ocean in the south and Arabic Sea on the west. So both India and Vietnam, we also have many lakes, Gorn River and stream. So fishery also, Vietnam, we also import a lot fishery product like Mr. Alex already mentioned. Nowadays, because long time back, we import around more than 1 billion. You see, more than 1 billion US dollar. At that time, the bilateral trade around 7 billion. But only the fishery we import more than it account almost 20% of our trade value. But recently, seen high, Vietnam one of the 4th largest importer of India after the US, China, and Japan. As we have the data from Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, in last year, 2022, we import around 440 million US dollar of seafood, while US import around 2 billion, China 1.2 million, and Japan quite similar to Vietnam. So now what Vietnam and India can do? I totally agree with previous speaker and especially Mr. Anesh Maran. Yes, both Vietnam and India, we can have many room to work together. I totally agree with you that yes, why Vietnam and India enterprise, why don't they cooperate to open the factory either in India or in Vietnam? What product strength in India, so we open India, or other product we can join manufacture in Vietnam. And another sector we can work together, even pre-production, like nursery or fish seedling production also. As we know, India very strong. India a lot of scientists who can develop the new seed. So that's one of we can cooperation. And in aquaculture, yes, we should do. We are very happy that Canada government and FICCI and also APEDA organize many business relation to Vietnam. but I think not more, because now we have direct flight. We have direct flight from Delhi, from Mumbai, from Kolkata, from Ahmedabad. And hopefully in the near future, we also have direct flight from the south. So the travel not the issue in the future. So we welcome all government officer and businessmen from the south to Vietnam. And there are two very important organizations that we should further enhance collaboration from AMBETA, from APETA of India, and from VASEP and Association of Vietnam. And last but not I already mentioned that in the risk in marketing, actually we can join together to develop some new product. We have to campaign because we're not thinking about India or Vietnam. We are very small, but we should think about the world, total demand of the world, so we can join and approach that. Otherwise, another campaign will jump into the empathy room. It had room for both India and Vietnam. So with that, I really appreciate and thank you, Mr. Savio Matthew, to give me the floor today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Boo. I think Alex will also agree that we have a lot of things have exchanged. I think, Alex, we can have a meeting with the Seafood Export Association MPDA and the Vietnam and also FICCI to take this, whatever suggestions has come in, a lot of good suggestions, we'll take it ahead. Can I move to next speaker, Alex? Do you want to add anything? Yeah.
No, nothing. You can carry on, please.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. Now we have another important segment that is very important from the Vietnam point of view, also from the Kerala point of view, that is on the spices. And we have with us Mr. Cherian Saver, Chairman, All India Spices Exporters Forum. Over to you, sir. Thereafter, we'll hear the spices from the Vietnam side. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Savio. His Excellency Ambassador Nguyen Sai Hai, distinguished dignitaries, fellow speakers, dear friends. First of all, the All India Spices Exporters Forum wishes to thank FICCI and the Vietnam consulate for arranging this. Kerala is one of the largest trade partners as far as spices are concerned with Vietnam. Some of our spice companies have investments in Vietnam. We, like what Mr. Harilal said, we are one of the largest importers of black and white pepper. We also import cassia, star anise, turmeric from Vietnam. Most of it is in raw form. And some of the exporters or manufacturers from Kerala are also interested in putting up units for value addition in Vietnam. I've been there quite a few times, one of the best countries, I should say. Very hospitable people also. Adding something to Mr. Bui, who said about direct flights, when Kerala has so much of seafood and spices business, you should also think about getting us a direct flight to Vietnam, to Ho Chi Minh. It'll help a lot because today, when we fly from Cochin, we have to hang around in Malaysia and then get to Vietnam. So it'll help. If I think Alex is smiling because of that. We all have the same thing, Okay, coming to imports, yes, we are. It's quite good as far as spices are concerned. We get sufficient products from there. We are one of the best, most economical spice suppliers to the world. But in terms of value addition, we from India or we from Kerala would like to invest in Vietnam for value addition. Those spices that are not available here or which are more economical for for business from Vietnam. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, I would say, the price of land in Vietnam is skyrocketed like hell, so which has held back, our investment plans quite a bit. Then this lease that you have, the 50-year lease, and most of the industrial parks today have only about 30-33 years left in the lease. So if something can be done to encourage investors there for longer leases. The other thing is, to know all the rules and regulations of the country, because we have a lot of inquiries for seasonings, spice seasonings and other things to be bought to Vietnam, but we still don't know the taxes and duties applicable, if there are any restriction on any product. So we really don't know which is the right department or agency to contact. But thanks to FICCI today, I saw one of the representatives of the Indian Importers Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Maybe we will check with them to get more information on that. We processors, spice processors in India would also like probably look at having warehouses in Vietnam. Basically, most of the spices are seasonal crops, so we have to buy these spices within 2 and 3 and 4 months. But what we buy for these few months has to be sold by us for our contracts, which takes a year. So, and when you bring it to India, we have an export obligation period. So we cannot keep it here for more than 120 days. So having warehouses in Vietnam will help. So that's another field that we spice manufacturers are looking at. These are the main things that I wanted to bring to your notice. And thanks to Lien, I think she's just come back. She's the chairman of the Vietnam Pepper Association. She has worked a lot, very hard in developing this pepper business with India. Thank you, Lien, and nice to see you here. That's it from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cherian Seba, Chairman, All India Spice Exporters Forum. And also 2-3 issues which highlighted, of course, that there are certain issues which the embassy need to take into consideration. One is the direct flight possibility of connecting between Vietnam and city of Cochin, which will be really helpful. And the land issues, which of course the embassy can also take up with the Commerce Ministry concerned. And of course, the issues connected with the warehousing and the price issues that, of course, now we'll hear from the Lien side, also the Vietnam counterparts on the pepper. Then we'll have a more clarity on how we can take it about. I think we can also work out another session exclusively on the pepper and spices and also with the Vietnam counterparts and all the Spice Exporters Forum also, then work out a delegation jointly thereafter also. Now I will request Mr. Hong Ting Lien, Chairwoman, Vietnam Pepper Association, for the presentation. Thereafter, we'll move to the more very important sector, also IT sector. Okay, over to Mr. Hong Ting Lien.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please continue.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm on the way to move to another meeting, so I'm unable, to turn on the camera. So I do apologize for that, and thank you for the organizer for the event, the FICCI, and also the relevant agency from the Kerala government and also the Vietnam embassy, all the dignitary, distinguished speaker, delegates, officials from both sides, Vietnam and India. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for inviting the Vietnam Pepper Association, where I am on behalf today, to share with you some, ideas or, thoughts about how we can deeper and further explore our bilateral relationship between, the both countries, including trade, including investment, and spice is one of the sector. And thanks to my dear friend and also colleagues, partner, Mr. Cherian Xavier from the ISAP, that we have been very close working together between VP and ISAP. And regarding those speeches and ideas from the beginning until now, I see between India and Vietnam, we have a very comprehensive, we have developed very comprehensive and strategic partnership between the two countries, thanks to the very strong and robust foundation of the legal environment. Those arrangements and agreements that already just to name a few, as His Excellency Ambassador already said, Dr. Saradullah also mentioned a lot. So I think from the perspective of legal, the environment, we have no issues to go beyond the what we are reaching today. So I see that today that we exchange view and ideas how to further explore and then look into the new areas, for example, medical devices or IT or even rubber-based product or even in spice sector, in my sector, we still got a room to further develop. So taking one point relating to the value addition that and on warehouse that is proposed by Mr. ISAP, Mr. Cherian, that I agree definitely that we still can move beyond that what where we are now. Actually, Vietnam also looking to receive and learn from the India experience in terms of upstream experience, value addition, the extraction in spice industry. And then we are open the door to the new investment from the foreign country, including India, as you may know well, that in our spice sector in Vietnam, so many, I think almost on the, spice companies and player in India have set up the legal entity in Vietnam, and they are running their business very successfully. So looking at to that, I see we have own the necessary and condition to open up further our business. So on behalf of the spice sector, I think I've been work closely with ISAP. I've been work closely with the spice community in India in order to make our bilateral trade and business further strengthen and develop. So I think within the time constraint, I just share a few points, and I'm looking forward to working further with FICCI at the government level and also at the Kerala state to to make the bilateral trade between Vietnam and India, and also Kerala and Vietnam, especially in own sector, including my sector, spice, more robust and more fruitful. So thank you again. And on this occasion, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Embassy of Vietnam and also the FICCI partners, the Kerala government, for organizing this event. It's very meaningful to see our business industry. Thank you very much. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Lin, Chairwoman, Vietnam Pepper Association, for the areas of collaboration and also the possible areas which can be explored between the Vietnam and Kerala. Mr. Cherian Xavier, do you like to add anything? Otherwise, we will move to the next speaker.
No, nothing, Xavier. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Now we have a very, very important segment coming. I think the Kerala government also mentioned about and the ambassador also mentioned about the areas which is in the IT and the startups and the ITS sectors. There's a lot of potential for collaboration and expansion of business between two countries, Vietnam and also Kerala. Now we have with us Ms. Gina Wahid, Managing Director of Face India Technology Solutions Private Limited, and a very active member of the NASCOM also. Over to Ms. Gina Wahid.
Thank you. Thank you, Xavier, for inviting me today. A warm good evening to all the dignitaries, the speakers, and the FICCI team. So my name is Gina, and I'm representing the IT industry for the Kerala. So before I start how we can collaborate, I also wanted to take this moment to talk about the few key initiatives that the Kerala government has taken to promote the IT industry in the state. And that is we have three major tech parks in the three major cities in Kerala. That's the Techno Park, Info Park, and Cyber Park. So we can, and we also have technology hubs spread out in the tier 2 cities. So we can tap into the talents across the state. Now, as you all know, Technopark is one of the first and the largest tech spaces in India. And we also have these parks like Technopark, Infopark, and Cyberpark constitutes around 1 lakh plus employment throughout the year. We have some major conglomerates or multinational companies investing in the Kerala state government, so that we have the TCS, we have IBM, all these foreign investments because of the talent we have here in Kerala. The reason why we have is Kerala is one of the states with highest literacy rate and also with one of the best universities and colleges in India, providing with a skilled workforce. And that is the reason why we have a multinational foreign investments in the software sector. The government of India also provides a single window clearance for the IT sector, which also helps the companies to have time-bound clearances and approvals on a timely manner, and it is sorted out as soon as possible. We also have Kerala Startup Missions and Kerala State IT Missions, where they provide with a startup culture or entrepreneurial culture from the student level. So we also have a lot of innovations happening in the IT sector, which is also backed up by the policies regulated by Kerala state government. Kerala state also has come up with something called fiber optic network, so that the Kerala government provides the high-speed internet connectivity, which helps the IT parks as well as the homes to acquire the best quality internet, so that we have seamless way of connectivity throughout the state. So we also have skill developments and startup village culture, wherein the skill development, the government also provides with a number of courses and value addition courses in blockchains and artificial intelligence, those tech programs. And even for looking forward, that FICCI also have some amazing courses like additional skill acquisition programs for the youngsters, so that the IT sector is eminent here. So these are some of the key initiatives by the Kerala government, and we, as the eminent speaker from KSIDC told, we have Vietnam and India have definitely signed a few treaties for the startup. And I see that Vietnam is also having a growing IT industry, which is also contributes to their economy. And a collaboration with the Indian Kerala state and the Vietnam can bring in a lot of value addition, in sense that we can provide the best skill development programs for the Vietnam side. And we also look forward, the Indian IT, the Kerala IT companies are also looking forward to starting up their offices in terms of different time zones we are looking for. So in conclusion, I would like to say that IT industry in Kerala is offering a variety of foreign opportunities for the foreign companies. Thank you, and over to Savio Matthew.
Thank you, Ms. Gina Wahid, Managing Director of Face India Technology Solutions Private Limited, and also highlighting the strength of Kerala in the IT sectors, especially in the 2-3 parks, IT parks we have, and also the government initiative like single window on the fiber optic network work, and the most important, the IT skill abundance available in Kerala. And also you mentioned about the areas which also you can also think of the IT sector also they can also explore the possibilities of shifting their bases to Vietnam also for the working cost space also. I think now we'll hear from the Vietnam side, then we'll have more questions from the IT sector. I would now request Ms. Nguyen Nguyen Tinh Giang, Vice President, come Secretary General WINSA, to address the participant.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I'm very glad to be here to participate in a conference and meeting to promote for cooperation between Vietnam and Kerala state in India. Actually, I have never been to Kerala before, just one time to Delhi, but I hope that one day I can have a chance to visit your beautiful state. For us, at the beginning, I also prepare a slide, but I think that it is a kind of very short time, so I just have a brief information to provide to you and share with you what I think that it is a potential for cooperation. So I think Vietnam and India share a lot of the same strengths in IT. We all have a big number of developer or software and IT engineers. Of course, in Vietnam, we just now have, I think for software only, we have around more than 350,000 engineers. And while the whole industry, we have more than 1.3 million people. But comparing to India, of course, we are very small comparing to India. And also the second thing is that he can see that we all both have a very big market. So with the population of Indian populations in Vietnam, we all have very big demand, huge demand for IT applications. So I think we can work together on that to discuss on how we can work together. So I can see that in international market, normally, sometimes our Vietnamese company and Indian companies can have some conflict or kind of like compete together when going abroad. But we can find a way to go together too. So with international cooperation, from my thinking, I think that I had a talk with 1-2 member of VinAsa. So the company share that they work together with Tata, with Wipro to go abroad. And I think, oh wow, it is how can you work together? And they share with me the way they work together is that they go out together, they bid together with the customer, so can share. Some part Vietnamese company will do, and some part it is a strength of India partner. So they go together, they bid together with all the projects with the customer from other countries, and they are quite successful. So I think we can find a way, kind of like ask them to share the experience, and then we can use the model that they work together to go overseas together. And also regarding the market, normally Indian companies are now having the footprint in many countries, while Vietnamese countries still don't have. So in some parts we can work with you, and in some in the other part in Vietnam, you can work with us, because you see in Vietnam at the moment, the government of Vietnam, the Prime Minister just issued the decision number 749 on June, the 3rd of June.
I think we have lost some technical issues.
Yes, maybe something there.
Shall we wait for?
We wait a few seconds. Otherwise, we move to next speaker. Because you see now we have some cable under the sea connect Vietnam to the world. There's some problem. So even in the they are fixing it. Even Vietnam IT can't see, but because of the cable connecting.
I think Gina, do you like to add anything to what Ms. our counterpart from the Vietnam side?
Zhang, you can call her Zhang.
Zhang, yes. Because she was telling that there are certain areas with certain countries which they have strong strength, especially in the ASEAN region. Vietnam is quite strong, and the South Asia we are quite strong. So if we can explore some of the areas where definitely we can have a closer collaboration between the two countries. Gina, out to Gina.
Yes, definitely. That's what I was talking about, like the skill developments. We are very focused on the blockchains and artificial intelligence. So we can definitely work with the Vietnamese side for skill development as one side. And we are also, I know there are a lot of our IT companies who's looking forward to start up their second office in Vietnam part of the country because of the time differences. So they can also cater to the another part of the world. So these are the two areas where the IT industry in Kerala and the Vietnam can definitely work on. Probably we should think about something in those two sectors.
Thank you, Mr. Gina. I think the Council General will definitely look into, and this is the two areas which we can collaborate as a part of the key takeaways of this webinar.
See already, Mike, sir.
Yeah. Okay. You can continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry that the internet in my office shut down suddenly. So yeah, as I mentioned that Vietnam now we have a big demand, huge demand on ICT applications. I think your Indian company from the whole Indian or also from Kerala also can work together with our member company to bring the solutions to Vietnam. And with that, I think from Vinasa as our role, we are very happy to work together with you to promote for cooperation between Vietnamese company and Indian ICT company. And I think one besides the market development, we also can have cooperation in human resource education and training. So that is one of the area that it is in big need, and also the strength of India. So that is all from me. Thank you, and very sorry for the internet issues.
Thank you, Ms. Jiang. I think during the break, we also discussed the possible areas which we can definitely look ahead, especially the training and skilling, and also joint ventures and collaborations which can be also explored. So we'll work out in jointly with the NASCOM and Vinisa and Startup Mission Government of Kerala and the Vietnam Embassy, how this can be taken out in the after this webinar, how we can proceed. That will be also worked out. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So can we move to the next speaker, Mr. Boy Trong Coin, Vice President, Invest Global representative from WhatsApp.
Thank you, Mr. Savio Matthew, for your introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is very pleased to meet all of you today. Many thanks to the organizer and Vietnam Trade Office in India for inviting me to speak here. We the Center of Information and Investment Consultant, Invest Global, is a unit under Vietnam Association of Foreign Invested Enterprises. Invest Global is proud to be a reliable investment and trade promotion agency in Vietnam. We provide full services to support all foreign partners who want to invest in Vietnam and facilitate own investment and trade opportunity into the Vietnam market. Invest Global also acts as a bridge between Vietnam and China with foreign partner. One of the most fruitful investment and trade promotion agency in Vietnam, Invest Global is the advisor, guide, and facilitator to every foreign investor and entrepreneur looking to make a home in Vietnam. In past year, Invest Global coordinated with the Embassy of India to organize many B2B seminar and meetings in Vietnam. Invest Global is actively cooperating with India partners such as Gap Oil International, Indic Electronic, Veihan Coffee. As we are also now connecting with Sia Trading Production Company, Fin9 Production with Vietnam company to co-produce big Bollywood movie blockbuster in Vietnam for mid-2023. Now I would like to provide you some further information about FDI and import turnover of Vietnam in last year. In 2022, Vietnam's total export turnover is over $730 billion, and the trade surplus is over $10 billion. This marks a milestone of 7 consecutive years Vietnam maintaining a trade surplus. Third quick remarkable achievement in international trade this year, Vietnam import-export ranking will be improved on a global scale. Total registered FDI capital into Vietnam in 2022. This nearly $27.72 billion. Disbursement this record $22.4 billion, up 13.5% over the same period in 2021. Accumulated over the past 35 years, Vietnam has attracted nearly $438.7 billion in FDI. In 2022, there were 108 countries and territories investing in Vietnam, in which Singapore leads with a total investment of nearly $6.46 billion. Korea ranked second with nearly $4.88 billion. Japan ranked third with total registered investment capital of more than $4.78 billion. As you know, at this time, many tech giants, notably Apple, Google, and Samsung, are expanding operations outside of China. India and Vietnam are becoming the two most promising destinations. The fact that India is the third largest economy alone gives the country a significant competitive advantage. With a large economy come against domestic markets, wide range of consumer and an abundant low-cost workforce for foreign. As India, unemployment rate is lower than Vietnam. Skilled manpower in India will be available at a lower price. Vietnam, on the other hand, has a significantly smaller economy. This factor certainly affects the country's GDP and GDP growth rate, especially when compared to India. However, there are still bright spots worth mentioning about Vietnam economy. For instance, Vietnam's GDP per capita is higher than in India. Meanwhile, Vietnam debt to GDP is significantly lower than India, indicating a lower level of foreign independence. In addition, the inflation rate in Vietnam is lower than in India, which can partly ensure the stability of raw material prices and as a cost a crucial factor in time of turmoil. Moreover, Vietnam has slightly lower corporate tax rates, enabling businesses to have lower tax expenses. Indeed, Vietnam has shown its flexibility towards the COVID-19 situation by quickly offering attractive corporate tax rates for large corporations that want to move to Vietnam. For example, for eligible large manufacturing projects, 10% and 20% favorable corporate tax rate apply for 15 and 10 years respectively. Foreign business also prefer to avoid currency risk with a low currency fluctuation rate. Vietnam has the most similar export basket to China, suggesting it could benefit better from replacing the China export basket. Vietnam's one-party state, although Vietnam has a higher level of political stability and a softer FDI restriction, Vietnam is also geographically located near global supply chain hotspots such as Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea, and other Southeast Asian countries. However, Vietnam would soon lose its comparative advantage in cheap labor due to the effects of aging and rising labor costs. As a result, the more effective solution is to increase labor productivity, as it is highly challenging and time-consuming for the Vietnamese government. Vietnam-India, a line of competitor. When placing India and Vietnam on the scale of three aspects, political, economic, and social, it is easy to conclude that each country has a pros and cons. If India is not economy with market and workforce advantages, Vietnam is emerging as a stable manufacturing hub. As global affairs remain disrupted, the US-China conflict, the Russia-Ukraine war, and the consequences of COVID-19, which type of stabilization, it seems that no country wishes for unnecessary confrontation. India and Vietnam are not exception. Indeed, the two governments put the current situation under the lens of collaboration, when India and Vietnam can complement each other through bilateral cooperation policy. Vietnam as potential partner in India new supply chain process. Through the collaboration with Vietnam, India hopes to increase export of India goods to Southeast and East Asia through a joint venture. We believe that with the cooperation with the Vietnam Trade Office, the Embassy of Vietnam in India, we will collect the business community of the two countries between Vietnam and India, including Kerala State, closer and contribute to further strengthening economic trade and investment cooperation between the two countries. I wish you good health, and I wish your business in Vietnam successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bui Trong Tuan, Vice President, Invest Global Representative from WhatsApp. for highlighting the various investment angles, and especially the Vietnam being the hub of the manufacturing of the world, because after the China factor, and everybody is aware of how this industry is going so much at the Vietnam side. And of course, the KSIDC, the investment promotion body of the government of Kerala, will definitely look into which are the areas which can be taken up for collaboration. Now we have few questions posted in the group. Then we are opening up the speakers for comments. The first question is posted from the IT sector. Gina can also answer that, and the Vinsa can also answer that from the side. This is an IT company. They are looking for a business partner to work on softwares on big data, telemedicines, remote patients monitoring on IT fields, along with the consulting tracks for the Vietnam collaboration they are looking at. Bui, I think this is a collaboration requirement which the Indian company has sought. I will give the details so you can work it around with your counterparts in the IT sector. Also, if they are interested, definitely we can connect both the partners, companies.
Yes, please, sir. Yeah, we are very happy if you can share the detail with us. We will connect with Vietnamese side.
Okay.
With support from Madam Zhang, so I think we can. Connect together. Thank you.
Okay. Second one is this address to Simi, also APADA, also, and the agriculture sector. This is a company asking for Vietnam is one of the major jackfruit manufacturers, and they have very advanced technology in cultivation jackfruit tree and the jackfruit products. The Kerala-based company is asking for the technological support from the Vietnam counterpart so that they can collaborate each other.
Yes, thank you very much for your question. Actually, during the visit to Kerala in 2021, we are very happy to receive some red fruit tree from Chief Minister. So he also mentioned that both India and Vietnam, we should work together in the jackfruit. So for the specific question, I think that we can organize the delegation to Vietnam, and we will make some arrangement for visit some factories there in Vietnam. So maybe they can discuss detail. Thank you.
Simeon, do you like to add anything from your end, APADA side? I think.
Yeah. Good evening. APADA side, like we have taken up development of a house at Kerala along with state government. That will be done at the jackfruit producing belt. We can see technical expertise from Vietnam as well in that.
Okay. Simi, you mentioned about one jackfruit festival or something happening, then the event is going to happen. Definitely, can we invite the Vietnam counterparts also to be part of that? Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. That will be in the month of April.
Okay, very shortly also. Okay.
Yeah.
Simi, can you please share with her also?
Pardon me?
Can you please share that program you mentioned with her so we can circulate to Vietnamese company?
Okay, fine. I'll circulate the program once it's finalized.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Only 2 questions are posted. I know there are a lot of people who have a lot of questions. We will share the program details to all the participants. And though many people have already joined in the FICCI website, FICCI platform, and also the YouTube platform also. So we will also circulate the details and we'll get more inquiries on the same. Before concluding, do any other speakers would like to add anything to from your end?
Nothing from the Pfizer side, Savio.
Yes, sir. Nothing from the Pfizer side. I think the Mr. Sebastian Thomas from the KSIDC, do you like to add anything on the government of Kerala side? A lot of things have been discussed.
Yes, as I said, we are keen to, continue with the dialogue, and, we would like to explore the ways by which we can crystallize some of the, discussions that we had here. So we are looking forward for, a consolidated kind of a report, actionable points how we can take this discussion points further forward. And from our end, we will be happy to support you whatever way possible, so that the cooperation is beneficial for both the parties. Thank you.
Okay. Sebastian, I think since Dr. Shahidullah has also moved out from this session, but I think this is something related to health sector. You also mentioned we have the life science park at Kerala also. Now this question is regarding how the Vietnam counterparts will be interested in e-health market in primary care and digital insurance in Vietnam. I'll repeat the question once again. E-health market like primary care and digital health insurance in Vietnam. One of the companies asking for such a collaboration, and they would like to collaborate with the Vietnam counterparts on these sectors. Mr. Bui, I will share the details.
Yeah, please, sir. Please, sir. Actually, we also have Mr. Bùi Trọng Thoan, from Invest India. Actually, last few years, we work together, and they already touched many Indian delegation and company to make a visit to Vietnam. So please share detail with us, then we will work ahead. Thank you.
Okay. I think if there are no more questions, can we wind up? Mr. Bui, do you like to add anything from the Vietnam embassy side? Then I will formally conclude.
Yeah, once again, I thank you very much, Mr. Savio Matthew and on FICCI team at Excellency Ambassador, and from Mr. Hung, DBT Director General from our Ministry already expert sincere to you. So we look forward to work with you very often. Maybe we make another plan in the second half of this year.
Yes.
We also very happy to organize some Vietnamese delegation to Kerala soon in this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bui. And also, I also mentioned, like Simi has mentioned about the food and agro exhibition happening in Vietnam. The delegates will be coming over there. And also you can share which are the major exhibitions happening at Vietnam. Similarly, we will also give the details of the major events happening on the Kerala side, also on the food and agro sectors, and also seafood sectors, and on the IT and health education. There are a lot of things have been discussed. We'll document it, and we'll forward the same also, so that we can mutually, and also the participants and to the speakers, and definitely we can work out a agenda and the plan of action, and we can work it out accordingly. I'll also like to thank His Excellency High Ambassador of Vietnam to India, Mr. Nguyen Quyen Tuan, for joining the session and addressing the participants as chief guest, and the senior official from the Vietnam side, and also government of Kerala side, and also government of India, Mr. Adlal sir also, and the other speakers from the industry side, Mr. Simi Unikrishnan, Mr. Alex Nainan, Cherian Xavier, Gina Wahid, and also the Vietnam counterpart side, Mr. Hong Ting Lin, Mr. Ting Tu Jiang, and Mr. Biu Trong Tuan, and also other speakers from the Vietnam side also for joining sections, and also the industry participants from various traders, trade and industry. And thank you for joining. We will definitely send all the details, and we will take ahead the valuable inputs and the details received. Thank you, each one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.